Hi guys, it's Misa with Forge World Plus, and I am getting ready I guess it's tomorrow, launch the November file of the month. And I wanted to go through all of the components for you, and then as many of you have seen, there is a frame component. So I want to put one of those together for you start to finish, just so you can see, again, how it goes together. So I'll go over all the pieces. As you can see, we've got a couple different frames here. We've got a 5x7 set and a 4x6 set. They both have just standard frames. There's no place for any added embellishments or anything. As you may have seen, I've got these little buttons that go on things. So these are the no button frames, and they will either be horizontal or vertical. It doesn't matter, just as long as you don't have the pocket so that the frames fall out. But they just have a little pocket on the back that you put together with a spacer and this little back plate. And then the photos just slide in and out really easily. So, okay, so we've got the both sizes in just the kind of standard frame. And then, where do I put that? Then we've got each set in a horizontal, and they have the little buttons at the bottom. And this one I've had it score the little place so that you know exactly, here's a little season's greeting button. You know exactly where to center your little button guy here. And that's just inset a couple tenths of an inch so that you can get the kind of perfect centered placement right there. And so when you're loading these, like specifically in a Glowforge, you'll set the majority of the design to cut, the little pocket pieces to cut, and then you'll change these little details around the frame here to score, and then also this to score, and then these little corner lines. Those will all be score. For the Glowforge, I do the high quality. Okay, and the little button goes here. So little season's greeting guy. Okay, and then little kitty. Let's see, I've got 22 little buttons. So then a little kitty paw button if you wanted to do that. We also have so many little buttons. Okay, let's see, you lost your little fur baby. So we've got a little kitty paw with wings too. Okay, so there's the horizontal options in both sizes. All right, and then on those, the pocket's just at the top. So that just slides in, okay? And then there's the vertical version of both sizes. All right, and so I put a wedding photo in here, and then I did some little wedding rings. And then a dog paw. Let's see, here's a dog paw. A little dog paw could go here. You could do blessed. You could do a heart. So lots of different options for those. And here the pocket is just in the top. Ooh, ooh, ooh. There we go. Okay. So little photos go in there. So that's what the frames look like. They're all constructed in the same way. The only difference is some of them have the pocket. It's a more vertical orientation. So the pocket in the top here, while the horizontal ones have the pocket in the top. Oh, sorry, have the pocket in the top right up here. Okay, so next got all these little buttons. Here, it's a double. Okay, so you should have 22 different buttons. I've got 21 here because the 22nd one is just the wreath around the inside of the circle so that you can put whatever you want there. The other kind of DIY one is, you can see this one has the Sanders family. And so what I've done, it's got the engraved wreath, and then it's got and then it's got family. And then in here is blank. So all you need to do is add the name of the family that you want to personalize. And so you can just add that however you want. Okay. So we've got several like text options. And then we've got some basic shapes. Horseshoe, dog paw, kitty paw, rings. So we've got our family, my home, our home, blessed, the blank family, and season's greetings for the text. We've got a little house, a heart, 2 wedding bands, little baby feet, a horseshoe, and a kitty paw, and a dog paw. And then for kind of the in-memory pieces, we've got the kind of heart with angel wings, dog paw, horseshoe, baby feet, just plain wings with a halo, and then also the kitty paw. Oh, and the date. Sorry about that. Can't forget about the date. So 2021. Okay. So they all have these little spots just like the frames, where on the ornaments too, you can just add whatever button you want to add. Let's say a little kitty ornament. Let's say a horse ornament, or an in loving memory ornament, just a heart. So you can kind of decide what ones you like. Season greetings. I think my favorite one is the date. I really like that. And then I really like them as the kind of in loving memory kind of options. It kind of just gives, you know what it is without really having to have any words. So there's the set of ornaments that have the spot for the buttons. And then there's the set of ornaments that are just plain. So no set. So this is just a single cut, quick, easy, pretty easy to just crank out, and even just cash and carry. I think it's pretty easy to Google the top selling letters. So you can have, I know like S and T I think are all really popular letters. If you're doing craft shows, you can just have a bunch of these generic ornaments, and those would be ready to go, especially corporate orders. I think these would be a great option. So in the file, you'll get it'll be kind of set up like this. It'll have the optional backer. You don't need to use the backer, but it's an option. So the optional backer, you'll have the one with the button, and you'll have one with no button. And so you would just upload the file, let's say into your Glowforge. If you just want the one basic monogram ornament, you're going to delete the others and not print them. Or if you just want the one with the button, here it is. But let's say you want the backer, right? And the one with the button. And then you'll just upload your buttons. I've got all 22 on one artboard. So you'll just select the few that you want and print those. And so then you've got your ornament here, which looks super nice. Okay. Clear all these guys out of the way. Let's get to putting together a frame. Okay, so I've got all the pieces. I'm gonna put together, I think this is the 4x6. And so these are all the pieces that are gonna come up once you have it printed. You're gonna have this top faceplate of the frame. Again, you're gonna set the majority of the shape to cut. And then there's these kind of details, little scored lines kind of around where the picture sits. You're gonna set those to score high quality. And then it's gonna kind of load with the back plate with these 2 little L's kind of surrounding it. I wanted to save you guys wood. So the little spacers, they were joined like this, if you can see, they're kind of joined like this. But this left this huge gap in the middle, and I just didn't, that would all just be kind of wasted wood. And so I wanted to save and nest as much as possible to keep your material usage low. So I kind of cut them in half, and so that's why they kind of look funny, but they'll just kind of fit together. The 2 L's will fit together and kind of make a little U, and we're gonna just glue these on here. in a second. The first thing I'm going to do, so this is just 1/8 inch sapel cut on my Glowforge, and I want to just finish the wood really quickly. And so I'm just going to use some Tung Oil here. Okay, and go ahead and wipe that on with kind of a clean rag. So just put some on my rag and just wipe it on the wood. It's really, really, really pretty wood. I think Alex has some in stock. It's probably my favorite. When it's all nice and oiled up, it just glows. So I think that's the luminescent quality of it is probably my favorite. And really pretty grain patterns. So I think he sprays things with a Rust-Oleum clear coat, and I'm often using Tung Oil. Because, quite honestly, it's the middle of the night and I'm not outside spraying anything. So, here we go. Just wiping that on. Okay. Okay. Until all the wood looks saturated. And then I'm just going to go ahead and set that aside to cure for a second. Okay. Oops, missed a spot. All right. So the next piece we're going to do is this back plate and glue on the spacers. And so again, just a piece of wood. I like, this is the spot, this is the side that I had masked. So I want that to kind of face out. So I'm going to do all my gluing on the side that still has some, a little bit of flashback because I didn't mask the back of the wood. And then it doesn't matter on these L's. But you, so this is the little spot where you're going to grab your picture out of right here. So you don't want to cover that up with these guys because then it would cover up where you're supposed to grab your little picture. Wouldn't be the end of the world if you did it. But it's not how it's intended. So we're just gonna glue these on like this. And then we're gonna glue this shape then to the back of the frame. So I've just got some Gorilla Glue. You could very easily just isolate these and cut these out of something. You have 3M on both the front and the back. That would make this super easy. Okay, so just going to kind of wipe. I don't do a lot, but then I also like drag the tip of the super glue along the wood so it kind of smooshes the glue and kind of wipes it flat so that I'm not getting like a ton of globs that will then squish out when I glue these on. Okay. So I'm just doing my best to kind of match up all the sides, slowly nudging it so that it's pretty flush. And I'll just hold it for a second for it to stick. Okay. Okay. And then the next one. Same deal, wipe on some glue, and match it up on the other side. Here. Okay. You can kind of feel along the edge that it's flush, and then hold it and wait. I don't know if you, especially with lighter woods, sometimes I get like a little peekaboo around the edges here, just in case like any like lightness kind of shows up if you didn't have like tiny piece of a millimeter kind of show through. So then I can just take like a brown Sharpie if I had any of that, I could just take a brown Sharpie and like touch that up. But this is kind of darker wood and it matches up pretty well. So I don't think it will be bothersome. Okay. So it's not 100% dry, but it's pretty sticky. So now I have my top that, again, it's not like, I wouldn't call it 100% cured, but it's pretty darn good. It dries pretty quickly. So here now I have the back. Move this into the frame. And so I'm just going to glue that on here. So again, glue along this little spacer here. Right, how easy would this be if I had used 3M? Okay, and then down this way, maybe a little bit more. Done with that. And so this will match up to the outer edge of this kind of inner rectangle here. So if this had the button, right, I would want to make sure I'm pulling the photo up. If I want the button at the bottom, the button would need to be here, and I'm pulling the photo up this way. If this was vertical and the button was down here, I would need to make sure that this was opposing where I wanted the button. Otherwise, you'll end up with a button at the top when you don't want it at the top. Okay, so I'm just matching this up to the inner. I kind of chatted too much and now it's a little sticky. Okay, match that up. There we go. Match that up to the inner. Just let that sit for a second. Okay. All right, now let's let this just cure for a minute. I'll probably put something heavy on it while it dries, and then I will be back for the final touch. Thanks, guys. Okay, guys, back again. So this is pretty well dry enough. It's just been a few minutes. I thought I would really quickly do the tung oil here. And again, you can just see how pretty this wood is. When we seal it with the tung oil. Really, really pretty. You can just do this whole thing, actually. Just bear with me. Oops. Yeah, pretty much. And so the reason we seal the natural wood is it will help it against kind of drying and cracking over time. So there's a ton of different ways, like products that you can use to seal with. I just like this one. I'm not a big spray person, but that works for many, many people. I just really like the tung oil. Okay. This is just the Minwax. Get it at Lowe's. Okay. Not 100% cured, but that'll be fine if I flip it over. Okay, so now we have our very pretty, it's not pretty, finished kind of frame here. And this is the 5x7, and so it gives, again, it goes horizontal or vertical, it doesn't matter. And so we just slide our little picture. Oops, I did it backwards. Slide our little picture in to the pocket. And again, horizontal, vertical, doesn't matter, but pretty easy to put together. The other thing that I put together in this set for you is going to be a bunch of easels. And let me grab one of those and talk to you about that for a quick second. Okay, I grabbed my easels, and so you will also have access to a set of, I don't know, 16, 18 different easel templates. They're all about 5 inches by maybe 4.5 inches, and they all have different gaps in them to correspond with different wood thicknesses. I went up, I think, 1/10 of an inch from 0.09 inches through 0.25. And so you will just measure your wood and decide which template you want, and then just pick the corresponding file. So I think this measured pretty close to the 0.13, and so I picked that template. And so you can see they just kind of, you cross them like an X, and then they just snap into each other. This was, I think, this is the Pure Bond Home Depot mahogany, and it was like 0.21 or 0.22. So this is a little looser, but it's super nice that they can just store flat. And you don't have to hammer them in. If you wanted a very permanent fixture, you could hammer them in and just pick a snugger template. So then you just have your little easel and you fit this guy on there like that. And he just stands up like that. So anyway, you have lots of different wood thicknesses to choose from. And so that should make having an easel a lot easier without having to mess with the kerf too much. Okay guys, that wraps it up. We've got ornaments, we've got frames, we've got easels, we've got these little buttons. So lots of options to either have some nice kind of generic sets, and then also some more lightly personalized sets. So I hope this was helpful, and happy November.